In the early 1960s, a sensational story shook the scientific community. American physicist Samuel Cohen had created a terrifying new weapon, the neutron bomb. Unlike conventional nuclear arms, it was designed to destroy life, not buildings. Its deadly stream of neutrons could penetrate any protection, even advanced homogeneous armor. At great distances from an explosion's epicenter, enemy troops inside armored vehicles would be wiped out completely. Scientists believed that after such an explosion, most urban structures would remain standing. The terrain would not suffer heavy radioactive contamination, but all living things in the affected area would be eradicated. In 1958, Samuel Cohen publicly proposed a new type of weapon whose primary damaging agent would be a source of fast neutrons. The announcement split the world into two opposing camps. Some called the new weapon yet another madness, a device that they warned might one day spell the end of humanity. Others, however, judged the neutron bomb a surprisingly rational solution. Its use, they argued, could prevent widespread destruction and reduce economic losses. It was precisely this reasoning, the desire to limit structural damage while neutralizing enemy forces, that guided Samuel Cohen in the development of neutron weapons. In 1951, he visited Seoul, a city devastated and burned during the Korean War. The scientist remained deeply shaken by what he saw. The neutron device was a two-stage, low-yield thermonuclear charge in which the neutron flux is not absorbed by the bomb's inner casing but deliberately released. To achieve this, materials such as nickel, chromium, and tungsten were used, materials that are relatively transparent to neutrons. When a relatively low-yield charge is detonated, the burst of neutrons precedes the physical blast. The radius affected by neutron flux is larger than the radius of the other damaging effects of a thermonuclear explosion. In a neutron bomb detonation, up to 80% of the released energy can be carried by the fast neutron flux, while the remaining 20% is accounted for by other damaging effects such as thermal radiation, the shock wave, and the electromagnetic pulse. Ordinary metal armor can stop most X-ray or gamma radiation, yet it is powerless against a flux of fast neutrons. Even special homogeneous armor, in which the metal's crystallites are elongated and inclusions and micropores are evenly distributed, producing significant hardening of the metal, can absorb only about 20% of fast neutrons. The remaining 80% penetrate into biological targets sheltered behind the armor, ionizing living tissue and causing a systemic breakdown of physiological functions. Tests of the new weapon also revealed a number of its drawbacks. A kiloton-class charge destroyed structures within a radius of 1 kilometer, and metal building structures and armor became sources of induced radioactivity. Scientists also found that the atmosphere strongly absorbs and scatters the neutron flux, markedly reducing its effective range. Building extremely powerful neutron bombs proved impractical. A large fraction of neutrons would be scattered in the atmosphere, while the other damaging effects of the explosion would be diminished. However, in outer space, nothing would impede the propagation of fast neutrons. For military activities in space, neutron weapons therefore held a certain appeal. Neutron weapons also found applications in missile defense. In the 1960s, the only practical defense against continually improving ballistic missiles was to use rockets armed with nuclear warheads. But when interception occurred in the upper atmosphere, and especially beyond it, the blast wave, one of the usual damaging effects, did not operate. In that case, a neutron charge offered an ideal solution. When a neutron warhead on an interceptor detonated, a burst of fast neutrons would strike the incoming enemy warheads, inducing reactions in fissile materials and in some designs causing a chain reaction that could completely destroy the warhead. The most powerful tested neutron charge was a 5-megaton thermonuclear warhead W-71, mounted on the American solid-fuel interceptor missile Spartan. During tests, to the scientists' surprise, another lethal effect of the new munition proved to be the most effective. The detonation produced a flash of soft X-ray radiation that, when it enveloped an enemy re-entry vehicle, instantly superheated the casing material almost to the point of vaporization, thus completely destroying the warhead. To increase the emission of soft X-rays, the warhead's inner casing was manufactured from gold. Military planners had expected the new weapon to be capable of destroying missiles at a distance of up to 46 kilometers from explosion's epicenter. However, series of trials showed that enemy missiles were reliably destroyed at about 19 kilometers from the epicenter. If the ballistic missiles carried special protection, that effective range fell to roughly 6 kilometers. With the advent of neutron weapons, methods of protection were developed almost immediately. A new type of armor was created to shield the crews of armored vehicles from fast neutron flux. To achieve this, armor plates containing large amounts of boron, an element that effectively absorbs neutrons, were incorporated into vehicle armor. The protection was made multi-layered, with additional plates of depleted uranium added in some designs, while engineers tried to avoid chemical elements that would produce strong induced radioactivity when exposed to neutron attack. Wet soil proved to be an effective neutron shield, as did fixed fortifications made of concrete. In the Soviet Union, the development of neutron weapons was carried out by nuclear scientists in Artemis-16. By the late 1970s, the USSR tested its first neutron bomb. It was essentially a standard nuclear charge into which a special unit filled with the isotope beryllium, a source of neutrons, had been added. At that time, a popular poem with a touch of dark humor circulated in the Soviet Union. It ended on a grim note: "The school remained standing, but inside no one." It was during this period that alarm began to spread about the new weapon, as many feared it might erase the boundary between conventional warfare and nuclear war. Moreover, both the United States and the Soviet Union quickly developed a wide range of protective measures against neutron damage. Mass production of neutron weapons continued until the mid-1980s. After that, according to official accounts, both the US and the USSR abandoned further development of this type of armament. An attempt was even made to completely ban neutron weapons, but negotiations failed to achieve results. The proposed ban remained only on paper.